What's happening, peeps? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of the Gunner's Corner. It's a full house tonight. We got all man's on. Murdad,
Whoop,
Laurent, myself.
whoop. Oh
Yes,
God.
sir. Yes, sir. And yeah, we're doing this one post World Cup final. So you already know what the topic of conversation is today. We are going to get into the World Cup final and the antics behind it all. It wasn't the best of spectacles, but we'll explain on a deeper level what that was all about, what it meant to us, our perspective on it. But also we're going to get into the transfer stuff because club football is back on the horizon in about a month's time, at least in the Premier League. So we're going to get into some of the transfer rumors. There's been some big news over the last couple of days, so we are going to get into it. Definitely involves all of us on the pod here. Laurent's amped. Um, but yeah, how's everyone doing? You guys good?
Oh.
Yes, yes. Then I got 117 reasons to be feeling as good as I am feeling.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm. You know,
mm. We're
mm.
gonna go there. Mm.
Yeah, man. All these were cheers, this and that, right? What was it? 74 charges or 74? What?
75.
75. But look how we moving, bro. Look how we moving.
Can I just remind you the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal to a player,
Mudryk.
and how did that turn out?
Yeah, I mean it didn't turn out too well, but let's be real.
It didn't turn out too well.
Yeah, but this is different, bro. This guy's proven in the Premier League. The guy,
Mm.
there's a difference. Context matters, man. Listen, you
Context does matter. Wesley
you
Fofana was proven in the Premier League, and then he went to Chelsea, and
now, but Morgan Rogers seems like one that can handle the weight of the Chelsea jersey. He's a clutch guy, and on top of that, man, Alonso, we trust in Alonso. We trust, man. So far he's been
wait,
looking
but hold
pretty
up. I
good.
thought it was in Rosinha we trust.
Who?
Exactly. Shall we go back a few pods? And you're like, he's gonna be next generational tactics this, tactics that, and now all of a sudden in Jabby we trust?
Bro, listen, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
I deleted my LinkedIn account a few weeks back, actually. So I no
Hmm.
longer have any affiliation to any of that. Just so we're clear.
Funny how that works, huh?
Mm.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I just wanna keep you you know, keep you in check.
Mm.
But yeah, 117 reasons. I thought for a second there you were gonna say 115 because we're still waiting for the 115. We're still waiting for the 115. But yes, Morgan Rogers.
Certain clubs shouldn't be, in my opinion, right? Certain clubs who are guilty, allegedly, shouldn't be allowed to be making such transfers, you know what I mean? And blowing up the market the way they are. Like how does it make y'all feel? How does it make y'all feel to know that you're allegedly guilty and still out there fucking it up for everybody else? Part of my language. Before you answer that, everybody, again, welcome back to the channel. We haven't had a fiery podcast in a long time. I'm not saying this one is going to be fiery, but again, club football is coming back around, so don't be surprised if there's a little bit more spice as we get closer into the season. Arsenal and Chelsea are playing each other relatively early into the season this year, 3 games in.
We'll be ready then.
So let's see if Laurent's kit is also going to be ready. Uh, like and subscribe, as we always say, because we're bringing you guys information, entertainment, and all that good stuff. And again, lots of changes to come coming into the new season, and we're looking forward to it. So lock in here, like, subscribe, hype, tell a friend to tell a friend, and all that good stuff. But yeah, transfer window, boys. Transfer window, transfer season, silly season, and 117 reasons to hate Chelsea
Respectfully, CJ, there's no 117 reasons to hate Chelsea because no matter what they do, no matter how much money they spend, they're still looking for that elusive win against the Arsenal. So, they can spend all the money that they want. It's not going to change the fact that, you know, by end of August, we'll be sitting here. Laurent will be tail between his legs, talking about excuse this, excuse that. If we had this, if we had that, if we didn't get a red card this, if we didn't get a red card that, doesn't make a difference, right?
Why do you guys always like to copy our homework, Laurent?
Probably
Like,
your homework.
yeah, like you don't always have to look at the desk next to you and find the answer. Just, go and find your own targets or go and, look for your own players sometimes. Do your own scouting reports. You don't have to copy our homework all the damn time.
It's crazy, bro. It's listen, at the end of the day, this is the Wild West. And in the Wild West, it's a free for all, right? You guys come in with your resume, your CVs, your branding, and we come in with ours. And then we let the players choose. And boy, did he choose. And I'm surprised because on one end, you guys are supposed to be bigger than us, more polished, right? Recent Premier League champ, current Premier League champs, runner up in the CL. So you tell me, why did Morgan Rogers decide to opt out of that offer to come to Chelsea?
because Chelsea always overpays and they get screwed.
The money. See, I don't know if I am convinced. I don't know if I'm convinced.
Really?
100%. Because one, if I'm a player and I'm looking at the two clubs, right? One of them is definitely supposed to be, as you guys painted, bigger than the other one. You guys are playing in the Champions League next year. As far as we're concerned, you guys look like you guys have a good run to head back into late knockout stages in the Champions League, and to go on to win a Premier League titles next year again, right? So by all accounts, you guys have the best or the better proposition. Um, and if you want to talk money, well, if Morgan Rogers goes to a club like that that actually performs, his value goes up. You see what I'm saying? So in terms of all of that, like I feel like it's just better overall, right? To head to the Arsenal, right? If you paint it in that picture
Hmm.
or in that light. So I
Well,
don't know, man.
to answer your question, it's very simple answer as to why um he didn't accept our offer because there was no real offer. And that's part of the problem that we're going to get into that
Mhm.
when we diverge specifically away from the Morgan Rogers thing and what happened there, and then get into how Arsenal's transfer window is going so far. Because Murdoch, I'm very curious to get your thoughts on how you find things are going so far with us. But sticking on just specifically this tug of war with Morgan Rogers, yeah, my simple answer is we obviously were not serious enough um to play that real tug of war with you guys, and I don't mean to say this in like a bantery, egotistical way, but I think the reality of the situation is if we actually moved to Rogers, we would have gotten him. Like,
Hmm.
you know, let's be honest for a second. And again, we're going to get into the deeper issues of what some of the frustrations at the moment is because Arsenal is kind of currently moving a little bit too lackadaisical, too slow for my liking now in the market. I've been patient for a while, and we're now July 18th, I think. Preseason is starting or has started at the time of recording. If you're watching this, the Arsenal boys, some of them who were not at the World Cup, returned to preseason training today, and we haven't really had any new players through the door yet. And we kick off the Premier League in about a month's time. So it's starting to get, we got to get a move on in terms of our targets. Um, Morgan Rogers being apparently a primary target of ours. Yeah, we just obviously, and here's my frustration with things. It's for me, it's not the fact that we lost out to Rogers. It's the principle of it. You know what I mean? Like I personally wasn't the biggest fan of. No, it's not true. I like Morgan Rogers, but I wasn't convinced with how we were going to use him. I
Hmm.
feel like we were going to stick him out on that left wing, and for me, I want a more of an out and out left winger profile, and I think that's where we were going to use him. But for me, that doesn't really work. We already have an Eze, we already have somebody of a similar profile in there, so I don't want somebody that another versatile player that you can stick on the left, but also play in the 10. Like I want an out and out left winger. I didn't want him to be our solution left winger. So for me, I didn't want him at that price either. To be honest with you, I can't justify going to 117, 130 mil for that kind of player. Give me Vinny Jr. or whatever for that kind of money. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. That's just where I stand on it. However, if that's Arteta's primary target, right? We have to move quicker. Berta, I'm looking at you sideways. I'm looking at some of these guys, the recruitment team sideways, because it's not the first time Arteta's lost out to some of his primary targets. And I can tell he's frustrated with them. I can tell he's frustrated that we lost out to Rodgers. Yes, I understand we don't want to pay that kind of money. But at the same time, you have to move more diligently, more swiftly. Like he said it, Arteta after the Champions League final, he said we need to, going forward, he was asked in the press conference after the final, where do we go from here? What do we got to do next? And Arteta said we need to be ambitious, we need to move fast, and we need to be smart. And so far, we're not proven to do any of those. And again, losing out on a primary target, whether I wanted him or not, whether we liked it or not, whether we thought the money was too much or not, it's another primary target that Arteta's lost out on, somebody that he's really wanted. And definitely, I can tell there's probably going to be a bit of tensions there because he's frustrated at losing out on who he wanted as a primary target. If your manager who just won you the Premier League wants a certain player or wants a primary target, the recruitment team, it's on you to go out and get him that player. And there was rumors that prior to the Anderson deal getting done, Elliot Anderson to City for 116 mil. Prior to that deal getting done, apparently we could have gotten Rodgers at around 80 to 100 mil, right? If we move fast enough. This is at the beginning of June, end of May times, whatever. If we move quick enough, we could have got him at a much cheaper price. But again, Man City and these clubs fuck up the market. You pay stupid money, 116 mil for
Yeah.
Anderson, and now all of a sudden the price inflates. And I don't blame Villa because they're going to say, oh, well, Elliot Anderson, respectfully, he's at Forest, good, decent midfielder, but Rodgers is a more proven player, to your point, Laurent, more proven player in the league, just won the Europa League. He's, he's better than Elliot Anderson at this time, and therefore should cost more. So I get it. We wait too long. City fuck up the market, and now the president is set. Now if you want Rodgers, who again his level is probably above Elliot Anderson at this time, he's going to cost you more than 116. And Chelsea, like clubs like Chelsea, will be willing to pay that kind of money, and they know that we're snooping around too. But you guys are going to go to those heights to pay that kind of money. So at the end of the day, we've lost out because we've waited too long. Once again, whether we like it or not, love it or hate it, the reality of the situation is we chose not to go that high and pay that kind of money now. And from Arsenal's point of view, well, we better now have a plan B. Berta and these guys, you guys better have a plan B. You guys better have another solution because I don't think, again, like I said, Arteta's going to be happy with losing out on a primary target. We waited too long, and now we're in this situation where we were never going to pay that kind of money to go up to 117, north of 17 mil to get Rodgers in. So that's my thoughts on it. And then, yeah, like I said, Murdad, you can let me know how you're feeling about the window as a whole generally. Laurent, I don't know if you wanted to come back in on that, but it's generally one of those, I think, where if we chose to put up the money, I think we would have gotten the player if we decided to put up that fight.
I I don't think Morgan Rogers is worth that much, to be honest with you. I think there's the British tax. Because at that price, I'd rather go for Bradley Barcola or um, Vinny because it does look like Michael Elise is going to be heading to Real Madrid. It's just how that finance is going to be completed. Um, there was rumors of Solas. I don't know if I don't know how serious that is and if we are going to get him for 40, 50 million, but everything that I've read, it appears that we had a certain price point for Morgan Rogers and we weren't gonna get bullied in that. Like I said, the last time that Chelsea beat us with a player, Mikhailo Mudryk, we all know what happened there. The only thing that for me is a little bit frustrating is that we let Leandro Trossard walk without really having a plan in place for a backup yet. And then in that happening, now we are likely going to be missing Saliba for majority of the season now. We do need to get a backup for him, and I can definitely see us prioritizing a center back versus a forward, which isn't the way that I would want us to move. But just knowing how Arteta moves, I really wouldn't be shocked if we prioritize a center back. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the Morgan Rogers thing. I do not think he's worth 117 at all. I think he'll be good for Chelsea, but also Chelsea want to play five in the back. And how he's going to fit into that system, who knows? And maybe he was just given some different guarantees with finances. Because we're not going to match Chelsea in how much we're going to pay weekly, right? The wages, we're not going to match that. So at one point, I think a player needs to decide: do you want to go for trophies or do you want to go for money? And I think this is more of a money move for Morgan Rogers rather than a trophy move. All banter aside, um, Do I think that Berta could do better? Sure, relative. But the World Cup is on, and a lot of players don't want to be talking about anything during the World Cup until they're eliminated. So, um, I think there's going to be a lot of movement done in the next couple of weeks. But I really would not be shocked if we get a center back in first prior to a forward.
Laurent, thoughts?
Hmm. Again, I think thus far, Alonso has shown that he can convince the owners who have shown in the past, right, to be pretty indecisive and um, more so unconvincing with their decisions. That he's able to come in right to a club and impose himself, right, and get things done quickly, efficiently. So far, right, there's been what four names that have come in. Um, so in terms of what Chelsea's doing, man, listen, I'm all for it. I'm excited to see where this goes. And yeah, man, I think see you guys on that first game. Um, I think that's where we see the turnaround of whatever it is that Merdad was saying in terms of you know licking your boots or however you want to phrase it. Yeah, man.
Oh, do you genuinely think that these moves are gonna help Chelsea
I
in
think
the
so.
long term? In the long,
Uh,
not short term, long term.
in I mean,
3 to 5 year window.
so I know there's a few talent there that are fairly young, right? And again, right, I do trust the manager um, with the decision he's making. It does seem like he's on board for the project, right? To be there for quite a bit, so long as the success is continued. So for the longer term horizon, I do think so long as we are in an up trajectory, we do qualify for the necessary competitions, right? And we accumulate trophies. It's only going to add to the value of the club. One, to the development of the players, and also to the other signings that we'd be able to bring in longer term. So yes, I think overall this is a positive move for us in the short and long term. But again, right,
Okay.
the results do have to speak for that. So yeah, man, we have to.
Okay, so then let me ask you something. Now with these signings that you guys have had, if let's just say no other signings happen, what would you consider a successful season for Chelsea at this very moment in time with the moves that you guys have done?
Assuming no other signings. So I mean, okay, can I put in the Lacroix one? Because I think that one's a big one.
Is it
It,
confirmed?
no, it's a long way away from being confirmed, though.
Because there's rumors that he's coming to Arsenal.
Mm.
Like,
Uh,
you know what I mean?
so what can we even for the viewer's sake, can we confirm what has been confirmed so far in terms of Chelsea signings? Obviously, we know Morgan Rogers. Who else has come through the door?
There is a Palestra, I think his name is,
Yeah.
and then a Quando something.
Okay.
Like he's a forward.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the three off the top of my head. Um, yeah, and again,
Surely
right?
there's a lot more to be done.
Well, I mean, on that end, right? I think the main issues, mind you, bro, we still have Reece James, we still have Gusto, right? It's not like, and we still have Hato, right? So again, if I'm, I think now the quest is to find that center back, right? I did mention Lacroix, which you guys are saying is being linked to you guys as well. Which I didn't I actually when I was doing a bit of research I didn't stumble upon that. But let's say right we find a quality center back. I think for us that's good enough as of now because we still have Enzo in that midfield, right? We still have Caicedo. Um, Palmer is still there, right? So these are still big names, right? And again, right, for me, the main asset is the manager and his system, right? That he's looking to deploy. So I'm sure that he knows exactly what he's doing with who he's targeting at this moment in time, right? So I think there's no room for concern for any of the Chelsea fans.
Merdad, are
So
you not on your end? Are you not frustrated with the lack of progress so far in terms of Arsenal's transfer window?
no,
Hmm.
no, not really. If I'm being honest with you, because I think we're going into it with a plan, and I think, um, I think we have price points for some of the players that we want to target, and I think the amount that Morgan Rogers went is above our price point. So I don't think we're gonna get bullied into or dragged into some nonsense, a pissing contest. And for me, like 117, like I would rather get Bradley Barcola. I don't want to keep getting British um, forwards. Um,
Wait, but
and
you
also,
think? Sorry, keep going. Keep going.
sorry, and last, I also think that, um, like with the uncertainty of what's happening with Vinicius Junior, like those are the type of players that are game changers, right? Like I don't think Morgan Rogers coming into the team is gonna take us from being runners up in the Champions League to winners. If I'm being completely honest with you, for Chelsea, yeah, I think for Chelsea he's a good starter, right? Like they thought Cole Palmer was like this god that was gonna come in and they were gonna win everything and yada yada yada. But that wasn't the case. So for me, no, I'm not overly concerned if I'm being honest with you. I think I'm more concerned with our back line right now, with Saliba's injury. Um, but from a transfer, not really. No.
Wait, so one, why would Arteta want him if he's not the player that you're describing him to be? That's where I'm like a bit curious, right? Because CJ did mention that that was the primary target. So it's like, yeah, why would he want him? You know what your objective is for next season, right? And unless he's doing this as a decoy, right? I don't understand what the intent was with
He's versatile, right? Like he gives us options, and he opens up the possibility of selling someone bigger, like an Odegaard,
yeah, but
right?
the thing
And he
is,
is young,
but
and he
if
is.
if you acquired him,
Mhm.
then what does that? Because I'm pretty sure you play him on the left, right? By default, I assume, right? That's where he would play, right?
Yeah.
Where Trossard and
Probably, yeah.
those guys used to play. So if you have, let's say you had Morgan Rogers, do you then go for Barcola or Vinny? Like, you see what I'm
I
saying?
think
Like,
at the right price point, yeah.
okay,
Like
and that,
at 117, no, I don't think he's worth it. And I don't think Arteta wants him at 117 because if you get him at 117, you're pretty much screwed for the rest,
mm,
right?
okay.
Um,
Now, my other point is this, because those players that you mentioned, Barcola, Vinny, right? Right, it's an auction, right? At the end of the day, I do not think you bid for these players without getting yourself into a pissing contest or for those type of, you see what I'm saying? Right? You're not the only clubs that are going to want to seek him out. Um, and I feel like, yeah, you guys are going to probably have to get your hands dirty to, you see what I'm saying? To get the gold is what I'm saying.
yeah, but out of the clubs in the Premier League, let's just say, if it's a
Mm.
Vinny or Barcola, which clubs do you realistically think have an opportunity to sign them?
Okay, first off, Vinny, I don't think Vinny is even on the table. Because I swear Vinny, situation, Madrid is trying to keep him despite even getting Olise. From what I've
Sure,
heard,
let's just say
that's
Barcola. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Barcola.
okay. So yeah, we're left with Barcola. I mean, one, does Barcola is his only intent to come to the Premier League, right? You see what I'm saying? There's still you still have the Serie A, um, that you can
Okay,
play.
the Syria doesn't have enough money
Hmm.
to pay for someone like that, so no,
Okay, and
that's
then
out of
what
the
about
question.
La Liga?
Does not have enough money. If a Premier League team comes in
Mm.
with an offer to PSG, no other league can match it.
Okay, so then all right, so if we're left with the PL, um I don't think Liverpool would be a suitable.
Well, funny enough, aside from us, Liverpool's the other Premier League club
Yeah,
that's heavily linked with him at the moment.
yeah,
Mm. And wait, what about Man U? No?
You could see
no,
them going in for him eventually. Like if like you said, if and when he becomes available, right? And this is where, to your point, other
Mm-hmm.
clubs find out that a player like that is available. Yeah, you're gonna start people throwing their hat into the ring, right? I can see
Mm-hmm.
Man U coming and trying to swoop if they find out that he's available, and Arsenal and Liverpool are going in for him. I can see United doing it.
yeah,
Okay. And so if those two clubs come in, that doesn't inflate his price to a point where you guys will probably start to think twice about wanting to acquire him.
yeah. But I'd rather pay for a Barcola than pay for a Morgan Rogers.
Mm. Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, like again, like my whole point was that I feel like at some point you might be put in a position where you actually have to do what you're saying you don't want to do, right? Is to I don't know how you phrased it, but get into these tug of wars, right? With these other clubs, right? Especially for players in demand, right? Because you're not the only one that have an eye on them, right?
Hmm.
And this is my stance on it as well. This is where I'm not again, I'm not yet at crash out, full on crash out, boiling point, but I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed, if I'm being completely honest, of just like, or maybe slight irritation is a better word because again, it's the optics of it, right? It's um again, maybe I didn't even want to pay that much for a Morgan Rogers, but it just knowing it's our primary target and you waited too long, you dilly-dallied. Like I said, you could have got him at a much cheaper price if you just decided to move earlier for him, but you decided to, take your time with it. Andre Berta has a scattergun approach, which a lot of Arsenal fans at the moment are getting frustrated with. And what that is, his scattergun approach is he tries to, put his hat in many bags, so to speak, right? So he'll talk to players, he'll negotiate with players, a bunch of players at a time. He'll work out what personal terms might look like. He'll let them know about the project and vice versa. Get a feel for the player, and so kind of put them on the table later and say, okay, we'll put this under the shelf. I'll come back to you. Let me, get look at another player in a similar position, and he just kind of assess multiple players at one time, and then go to Arteta in the end and say, okay, this is the players that we have lined up on the table. What do we want to do? Like that's his approach. I'm paraphrasing, but that's generally the approach. Going back to last summer, that's what he's done, right? Kind of negotiate with a few players at one time and put your hat in many pots, and then you come back afterwards in the end, let's say, and then decide what you want to do. Like it, that's starting to become a frustrating, a tactical approach for Arsenal and Arsenal fans. I understand why, because it's like, yeah, you can't afford to do that. By the way, not many players are going to sit around and wait for you to decide whether you want me or not. You know what I mean? Like don't come back to me after you discussed it with another two players. I mean, if you want me, if you want the player, go and get the player. And again, that's where it's frustrating from an Arsenal point of view and Arteta's point of view because this is another primary target he's lost out on. We've had primary targets in the past that Arteta didn't get. Rafinha, Lissandro Martinez, Mudryk, Sesko last summer, right? Like, you get the manager as primary targets, especially after he's won the league. If he wants a certain player, you go out and get that player for the manager. And this, trying to be too cute approach and procrastinating on Rodgers has now put us in a point where, you could have gotten him probably 20 mil cheaper a month ago if you decided to not, delay and procrastinate. And now, because of the way the market is, the price is inflated, and now you're getting priced out of moves. And so my thing is, let's not make this be a habit. There's another player, a young player, Jeremy Monga. I don't know if you guys heard about that name. We were linked with him,
Mhm.
a young player earlier on in the window. We were haggling over an extra 2 mil for the player, and then he ended up going to City. Now, we're not going to all sit here in hindsight afterwards and pretend like we all knew about the kid and oh, he was going to be the next big thing. Like, no, we didn't know the guy's name 2 months ago. But it's still kind of again the optics of that was a player that looked like he was coming to Arsenal, right? Young, promising player. And then we were haggling over the final price, didn't want to pay the extra mil at 2 mil. And now all of a sudden he's going to Man City, apparently, or if not there already. So we're kind of losing out on some of our players because we're taking our time and we're really kind of procrastinating and trying to be too cute with it. At some point, you got to get a move on. And so whilst I'm not at the crash out point yet, I'll tell you where I'll really be frustrated is with the Bruno Guimaraes one. We've been heavily linked with him, and for me, that's the
Mm,
one that I really want because when we're talking about game changers and level raisers, right?
Yeah.
Bruno Guimaraes single-handedly carries that Newcastle team. You know what I mean? And that's a team who's mid-table 12th. You know what I mean? And his numbers from midfield this past season, I think his GA was about 15, 16. Imagine what that kind of player can do in an Arsenal team, right? If that's what he's doing in a mid-table Newcastle team that's struggling, carrying that club, how would he elevate, an Arsenal team who he would be perfect to sit alongside a Declan Rice or play instead of Declan Rice when Declan Rice clearly needs a rest. Like that is kind of level raiser game changer that I want. And that I think will take us to that next level. If you talk about what will get us from, Premier Champions League finalists to Champions League winners, I think like that kind of player is what I'm talking about. And I will be frustrated if because that's a player who wants to come to us. He's told his club already. He's told Newcastle, I want to go to Arsenal. I want to leave, right? So that player wants to come to you. And if we're going to be too cute on this one and we're going to procrastinate and take our time because we don't want to pay, the thing at the moment is that he's 28 going on 29, right? That's not old for a footballer, right? But we all pretend like that's old now, right? People and players in that position can play well into their 30s, right? Look at Bruno Fernandes, look at, Casemiro and these guys, right? Like 30 is no longer a thing where it's retirement football. Like, no, you can play especially when your game doesn't rely on speed. So Bruno Guimaraes is 28 going on 29. Let's not act like that's old. People will say, "Oh, we don't want to pay the extra, whatever it's going to cost." For me, you pay the money for that kind of player. Newcastle wants apparently allegedly around 80 to 85 mil.
Right.
We wanted to pay around 60, 65 mil. Listen, man, you go and get that deal done for me because that's a win now. We're in a win now situation. We're no longer in a project, 5-year project, 10-year project. Like we're in a win now and we need to carry on and build on the momentum from last season. For those kind of players, you pay the money as far as I'm concerned. And I'll be very frustrated. And then you'll start seeing me crashing a little bit more when if we decide not to move on that player, bro, because he wants to come to the club. And like Laurent's saying, if Man United and these kind of clubs hear a player like that is on the market and we're not moving serious to him, then yeah, he's gonna go elsewhere, right? And I think that's what happened in this Rodgers situation. And one thing that, we talk about appeal, when it becomes a tug of war thing, the appeal that we have this summer is bigger than it's ever been for us. Premier League champions, Champions League finalists, but sometimes money talks, right? So if we haggle too long over a Bruno Guimaraes and a Man U comes in, for example, Man U, and like Chelsea, what you guys did with Rodgers, they'll just pay up, right? We have the appeal of where the status of the club is Premier League champions. On the foot on the pitch, we're on the up. Whereas United may be a little bit down here, Chelsea may be a little bit behind us at the moment, but they have this. They'll pay, right? Man United will pay that bit extra for Bruno to come. Chelsea will pay that bit extra for Rodgers to come. So the consequence of us waiting too long is that other clubs will come in who maybe be less appealing on the pitch at the moment, but will just pay 6-year contracts for 250K a week to these kind of players. And then we lose out because we decided we don't want to pay that kind of money. So that's my frustration with you, Murdad, and that's what I'm hoping that we fix up and we stop. I want this Rogers situation to be the last of this, and we decide to move serious to our targets from here on out, to be honest with you, because we're
But would
getting
you not?
closer to the start of the season.
But would you not agree that we we do this conversation every year, even before we start recording the pod? Every single year, it's the same conversation over and over and over and over again. We just move slow in the market. That's just us. Like we're not. I think we're strategic, and yes, sometimes we have missed out on our targets. I will admit. I will admit. Uh, what was it? Who were we going for when we signed Raheem Sterling last second? Oh man, do you remember who it was, CJ?
Like a specific forward,
Yeah, who we linked with that we couldn't get over the line, and then we just signed with Sterling on loan. Oh man.
I don't remember. I remember it being frustrating because we were supposed to bring in a forward that window, and we just had to settle for Sterling because we just did what we always do.
God, now it's gonna bug me. But anyways, like the Sterling situation, like we drag things on a little bit too long. I do agree with you, but that's just the way Arsenal is. But I will say, I think Andrea Berta does have a plan. Um,
He better.
we still haven't heard the final story of Julian Alvarez, right? Like, yes, he does want Barcelona, but Barcelona has no money. Like, they do not have funds to get that deal over the line. And we don't know what they have cooking in the background too, right? Like I'm not crashing out about the Morgan Rogers thing again. I at 117 mil, like how much of that is at a British tax, and how much is that for the player? And for me, I would say majority of that is for the British tax. Like I don't think he's worth more than 80. But just my honest opinion, I don't think he's worth more than 80. Like in today's market, of course, like 100 like yeah. I don't know. I think Chelsea are just making weird moves. Um, but it's the market, right? So like look at what Spurs got for 200 mil.
Well,
Like,
that's the last thing I want to say, and I want to
you
ask you
know?
on in terms of this topic is, do you think, and are you prepared to expect that we're probably gonna have to pay if we're serious about some of the players that we want, because we want high level, game changing players now, right? So, are you prepared and to willing to accept that we are gonna have to pay that kind of money for those kind of players at some point this window? I do think that we're gonna break our current record, which is 105 mil for Declan Rice. I think we're gonna break that on net player because of the market and because of the kind of players that we're looking at and the kind of players that we want. I think either way, we're gonna be breaking it. It's just a matter of who we're gonna be breaking that transfer record on. So are
Yeah,
you
like if
prepared
it's
for that? Like, are you? Because
if
imagine
it's Barcola,
if we keep trying to say, no, 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 we're not, we're going to continue to reject players because we're not going to pay up the money, even though the market dictates what it is. We may not agree that we want to pay that kind of money on those players, but the market is dictating unfortunately, what we're going to have to pay. Are you willing to accept that at some point we may have to overpay for one of these big name players?
yeah, but not a Morgan Rogers for me. Like if it comes down to like Guimaraes, they want like 90 mil, and we're settling on 75. Sure, pay the 90 mil.
How
Because
much would
for
you pay for?
me,
Oh, sorry, sorry.
because for me, Guimaraes
Proven game
is
changer, like a proven player.
not even the fact that he's a proven game changer. He gives us the flexibility of resting a key player who is has been the cog of the midfield, and also gives us flexibility to move Eze into the left wing. Yes, I know you've said you don't like Eze in the left wing, but it still frees up another player, right? Like it still gives us more freedom in the front line. Whereas, bringing in Morgan Rogers, like respectfully, we have Max Dowman. Yes, I know he's still young, but we still have Max Dowman. We still have Wanyeri, right? We still have Saka who can come in and you can put Madueke on the wing. Not ideal. We still have Odegaard, right? Like we're not desperate for that style of player. We're more desperate for a style of player that can come in and give rest to Declan Rice, and someone who can push Martin Odegaard. Right? And if push comes to shove, if we need to sell a player, yeah, Odegaard becomes, you know, yes, I understand he's the captain of the team, but when you bring in a Guimaraes, like you have someone that can actually go in there and take control of the game. Because the one thing that we're missing is I think we talked about it when we were getting rid of Thomas Partey. Like, yes, Zubamendi is there for being good on the ball, but we're missing that type of player that's press proof, right? Declan Rice isn't that good on the ball. Yes, he can drive forward, but if you press him, he's not a Thomas Partey that can wiggle his way out of a press, right? Guimaraes can do that. So it gives us more flexibility to use Declan Rice differently. But to answer your question, yeah, I know we're gonna break the record. If we break the record for like a Barcola or someone like that, sure, but not a Morgan Rogers for me. No, no, absolutely not.
Wait, so
I
you
don't.
guys can see yourself getting Guimaraes and a Barcola?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna have
Now,
to.
but someone has to go. Someone has to go.
and who would that be?
Apparently, Martinelli is
Yeah.
publicly being up for sale. Like we're making it clear that he's on the market to be sold.
Yeah, but I don't think you guys get much for that guy though.
I would hold out to if you see what some of these guys are going for, I would say, yo, you're not getting Martinelli out for anything less than 50 mil minimum.
Okay, and what's the most you guys would be willing to pay for Barcola?
Me?
Yeah.
120?
Mm, okay, 120. And you, CJ?
It's tough for me. I think I barely even think that he's a 100 million pound player. I don't even think he's that proven yet, in my opinion.
Mm,
I think the left wing market generally is kind of weak at the moment.
right, right. Okay. I mean, it'd be interesting because I do feel like even with this Morgan Rogers situation, there's like there might be like a price anchoring effect where, right, I think by default of that, those players are suddenly not gonna go below certain, right? Like there's a certain
Mm.
threshold that's or a certain ceiling. And then from there, right, again, if those other clubs come bidding, like who knows where that price goes, right? But yeah, should be interesting to see though.
I agree. I think Morgan Rogers is more proven in the Premier League, but I think Barcola's ceiling is way more. That's just the way I look at it. Like I don't think Morgan Rogers moves the needle for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll have to wait and see what he does for Chelsea, and we'll see we'll see what we do for the rest of the window. But we better have a backup plan, man. That's for sure. We better have some pivots and some quality ones at that.
Wait, and
Um,
how long the window's open for how many more
I think
weeks?
it's until September 1st.
November
So I think it's
1st.
it's all of August it'll be open for still, and I think
Yeah,
as of September 1st it closes.
Mm, okay.
But for me, it's also you want to have players that are in, for at least a
for
bit of
the
your preseason and
yeah.
get acclimatized to the club and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Which
That
that
makes
means
that makes a big difference.
you guys would have to be moving by like next week, right? Preseason is what, early August or
This week, preseason has started for some clubs already. Chelsea's players are back in training. The ones that weren't at the World Cup, same with Arsenal's. Like those clubs are
yeah, I
already
mean,
starting their preseason.
yeah, I think we had like a behind closed door game, which I'm not really counting because a lot of the players weren't even there for that. Plus the lap scored, and you know when the lap scores, you can't. Yeah, yeah. But yeah. Wait, when does your preseason start though?
Well, in terms of games, because like I said,
Yeah,
training has already started. But in terms of games, I think we have a game in about 10 or 11 days time.
10, 11 days. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So, mm,
Yeah.
definitely have to start making moves soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anything else you guys want to touch on for the transfer business, or you guys we can get into the World Cup final now?
Last thing I want to say is Trossard, thank you. You
Yes.
saved us from
Yes.
the Mudryk saga. You definitely were way better player. You were a good servant. And I think you had a huge impact on the season. Um, I hope he has success in Turkey, and I hope he enjoys it. But you really saw his class in the World Cup,
Mhm.
like playing for Belgium. You really saw the class playing across the front three. Um, so yeah, just thank you for saving us from Mikhail Mudryk and his antics.
Legend for you, where does he stand? Legend, cult hero. Where does he stand for you?
A legend so far,
Hmm.
I'd definitely say cult hero. I'd say cult hero. I think if he had scored in the Champions League final, or like yeah, legend a little too much. Cult hero 100%, especially with the celebration. 100%, he's a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cult hero for me too. I agree. I think obviously he is the clutch guy, or he was the clutch guy for us. And what I think what cemented his status is that essentially, let's be honest, that goal against West Ham, that pretty much wins us the league. That's the decisive goal I would say that wins us the league.
yep,
So Trossard will always be welcome back, with open arms with Arsenal fans, back at the Emirates whenever you want. Yeah, cold hero, man, and yeah, definitely big up to him. Proper player. And when you talk about just best January signing we've made, when you talk about the best value for money signing Arteta's made,
yeah,
when you think of that, that was technically an accident because we couldn't get our primary target at that time, Mudryk. Boy, how that worked out was crazy, man. I've never seen such a fluke signing turn so successful, and it's just wow. But
yeah.
yeah, no, big up to Trossard for sure.
After review, West Ham number 19. Oh fuck! I was seeing memes of that because the Prem's coming back. Everyone was posting that. Fuck! Can you believe it's gonna be back in a couple more sleeps?
See, I was thinking about it. And I'm like, you know what? After even seeing clips like that, that after review, it made me think, you know what? Maybe I can wait for the Premier League to come back. Like, I'm still good for another 4 or 5 weeks because, bro, this shit is just so stressful. Like, are you guys ready for another 10 months of just pure stress, pure back and forth between one another? The banter, the anger, the emotion, like, the stress of watching your football club. Like, I mean, Laurent, you guys are only, once a week and all that stuff, but but you know what I mean? We're like fuck, like 2, 3 times a week, just the stress of watching this club again and the games and the nonsense and the drama. Like this past season aged me, bro. It aged me. So yeah, I think I'm good to wait for another 4 or 5 weeks for this shit to come back around, man.
Well, we got 4 weeks exactly because on the 16th we play the Community Shield. So yeah, I want it back. I want it back. Um, wait, hold up. What? Arsenal are weighing a move for John Stones on a free?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. But anyways, yeah. No, no, I'm good. I'm good. Let's get into this. I got a lot to say, and we got a little time because I don't want this pod to be 4 hours long. World Cup final. Before I start talking, what did you guys think? And I'm predominantly looking at you, Mr. Piana. What did you think of the World Cup?
I don't like rats.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's yeah, tattletales, snitches, Miss Flinsters. You know how they go, right? And especially when you're a player of that pedigree, to be moving with such uh, I don't even know what the word for it is, man. But just disgust, all around disgust for me. Um, One from the performance because I expected a lot more, and again from the captain. They call him the GOAT, but it looks more like a rat to me by the end of this World Cup final. So yeah, man.
Can you enlighten us on what you're you know?
Oh yeah, man. He tried to take my boy's head and shoulders off the field, bro. For for what? For touching his mouth. Apparently to point at what happened to one of his players,
Yeah.
and they try to make it seem like, oh, he was covering his mouth. Like truly, like that baffled me. When I saw that it was him that was doing that, I was like, yo, you have to be super desperate to be moving like that, man. Um, but honestly, man, it showed from the antics, right? I mean, we're used to Argentina playing like that. They did do the same thing against England, which was the last game, right? And it worked for them. This time, though, it did not work, right? Given the fact that the opponent was a lot more composed in their shape, defensively, all around, right? So they were completely neutralized. And yeah, no, they didn't offer much going forward. For those of you who don't know, I think it was the third time in World Cup history that a team has not registered a single shot in 90
Hmm.
minutes, which is quite the stat when you think about it, right? And sad to say, man, listen, we had fans who don't even watch footy like that, right? You know those ones that come out of the woodworks every 4 years type thing, right? The Skip Bayless, the Stephanie Smiths, right? Those guys from that side of the world. And Argentina, you just gave them an excuse to bash our sport even more, right? Talking about how it's boring and it's this and that, right? Yeah, no. I do not think that if you're the reigning champions that you have that kind of performance um in a finals game, right? Unacceptable. I thought France was bad versus Spain, but this took the cake. Um, and then on top of that, right? Cake, cheese. See what I'm saying? Like it's yeah, man. All sorts of fuckery. So yeah, man.
So what
We're
does
gonna
he?
bypass. Oh.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask Laurent. Like, does he lose his GOAT status for you, or is he still the GOAT?
Listen, you already know where I stand on that. Um,
That's true.
and now, bro, every time I see him, maybe I saw half a goat in the past, but now all I see is whiskers. And
Ah,
it's sad, bro. It's sad. Listen, I don't know how you guys felt about that, but I was actually disgusted, genuinely. And I say, listen, I was going, I had a back and forth with a Messi fan. who hates Ronaldo. And I have to show him, bro. Like I have to tell him straight up, bro. If this was one of my players, bro, it could have been on Chelsea. It could have been on DR Congo that was doing that, bro. I would have been absolutely gutted and disgusted. Because like this is this type of behavior you do not want to see, man. Like you see what I'm saying? It's cheap, it's classless. There's no tact, right? Yes, you're losing. Yes, you're down a man. Was that a second yellow for Enzo Fernandez?
Oh,
I don't know.
oh,
I,
come on.
I listen, the way the
Whoa,
guy's
whoa,
doing,
whoa, 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 whoa,
all I would
whoa.
all I would
Ta-
say is this.
no, 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 no,
Hold on.
no, 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 no. Don't even fucking continue. Whoa, are you fucking blind?
I saw it. I saw it. But all I would say is this. I've never listened unless I was watching
Oh my days, I
no, no, no.
cannot believe
Hold
you
on,
right
hold on.
now.
Unless I was watching Cartoon Network, right? And I was watching what was it, Tom and Jerry and shit. I've never seen a real man flip like that, bro. This is like what the fuck? You see what I'm saying? Like the guy actually like did a whoop.
Bro, Argentina
Like,
should have had like 3 or 4 players sent off with the way they were playing. They weren't even fucking playing football. They were playing American football.
that's right. I do think Paredes did get the yellow for
Bro, the
pushing
blood rushed to their head as soon as the ball was kicked.
mm,
Right, I should have had four yellows in one game.
yeah.
Bro, the man is trying to fucking play MMA. Like, were you talking to Conor McGregor before you came on the pitch? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, but listen, they do that. That is a style, right? And also, I do feel in South America, right? It is quite physical, right?
That's not physical. That's just pure like I'm just trying to injure you. Physical is what we see in the Prem. That's not physical. That's I'm gonna punch you in the back of the head. I'm gonna step
Mm,
on you. I'm gonna try to break your ankle. That's that
mm.
bullshit. And then as soon as you breathe on Messi, they're like, "Oh, why are you touching him?" It's like, bro, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's
And
what
that
kills me.
situation that you're talking
Yeah,
about
that's
with
what kills.
with Cucurella,
Mm,
it actually happened with Ronaldo during the World Cup with Kusanov. And
yeah.
Ronaldo actually told him, and the clips have been going around. Ronaldo said, "Don't cover your mouth because you're gonna get a card and sent off."
Mm,
So
yeah.
that's the difference. And yes, I still think that Messi is the GOAT, but that's just he was just desperate. And Argentinians, man, so classless, so classless. Like the way that their fans celebrated after the win against Egypt, pouring liquor on the Egyptian fans, and
No
then
way.
yeah, bro, in the stands. Yeah. Yeah. And they don't drink, Egyptians. So that's like a sin for them. And then with the way that the Argentinian players, specifically Enzo Fernandez, celebrated against England, walking up to only his Chelsea players and shaking their hands and then running away afterwards like a little bitch. Like, if you want to be the face of the sport, maybe act like it. Maybe act like it. Because you know that there's going to be a bunch of kids looking up to you and being like, "Oh, if I get an opportunity," because somewhere in those stands there is a kid that in 10, 15 years is going to be like, "Yeah, I was there at the World Cup and now I'm here playing." You know?
Mm.
You're setting the example for the next generation, and the example that you're setting is piss poor. That's not how you play. And that is definitely not how you play a World Cup final. Yes, Spain were the way better team. They gave up what, only 1 goal the entire tournament?
That's actually crazy. Is that true?
Yeah, and they didn't lose. I don't think since De Fuente has taken over the team, I think they're unbeaten in 50 games, which
Mm.
is like which is insane, right? Like they dismantled France, they dismantled Argentina. Like you gotta just put your hand up. But it gave me a really, really sad, a sour taste for Argentinians. Really sour taste. I did not expect that. I did not expect them to be so classless. Right?
Honestly,
Like,
bro, yo, who are we kidding, man? We saw what happened at the last World Cup with Emi Martinez and like, come on, bro. Like, are we really
not okay,
like for
but
those who
like if the players are doing it on the pitch and they're, taunting and they're doing shit like that, okay, whatever, it's on the pitch. But like to extend it to the crowd and then like That is too much.
Hmm.
That is too much. And this time around, like they were moving weird. Like the players, Argentinian players were moving weird. From the beginning when Messi had that foul that didn't get called for a red card, but Florian Balogun did. Like from that moment, I was like, what is going on? And the type of teams that they beat to get to the finals, like they didn't even face any competition. Cape Verde was their hardest competition. Like it was, yeah, that was not a good final. Um, but hey, we got three Arsenal boys. They're World Cup champs. Mikel Merino, super sub Mikel Merino, Zubamendi, and David Raya. Um, yeah, it's football was saved, and I really was hoping that you would backtrack on your stupidity about Champions League final, Laurent, but you didn't. I'm gonna call you out. That was a shitty game of football, not the game that Arsenal played. Um,
Yo, no way we're still talking about this.
oh,
I
100% we're talking about
That's
this.
crazy. Yo, I
1000% we're talking about this because you said a lot of shit. You said a lot of shit. Um, that was like, what did I watch for 2 hours? And the halftime show, what the fuck was that? Like, really? Like that's the extent? The highlight of the entire game was when Rodri literally waited for Donald Trump to get off the stage or be as far away from the stage to lift the trophy. And the highlight after that was when Spain posted it on Twitter and they edited Donald Trump and Infantino out of the photo. That was the highlight of the tournament for me. Like, like what the fuck? Like what was that game? That wasn't even a game. It was 120 minutes of shit. Listen, I think if Congo was in the finals, it would have been a better finals. I think Congo would have got slapped 7-0, but it still would have been a better final.
definitely got slapped 7-0. But
I'm just saying, bro. I feel Congolese today, and I'm just being honest.
mm, no, man, someday we'll make it there, and then we can all watch it together. But wait,
Okay.
CJ, didn't hear much from you on this game.
Yeah. No, we all share the same thoughts, man. Yeah, we all share the same thoughts. It's just, as I said to you, I don't remember if I said it on air or off air, but yeah, successful hate watch. I'm enjoying these hate watches. I'd like to do them more often. Is this how it feels to successfully hate watches? Jeez, man. But I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, that final definitely took deflection away from the Champions League final, the way you guys liked to criticize Arsenal and their performance in the final. Yesterday, took Argentina said, "Hold my beer." If you want to see a stinky finals performance, that's exactly what happened. And as me and you discussed last podcast, Laurent, it's even worse when you see teams and clubs and countries or footballing sides like that do it right. I've explained why Arsenal had their reasons for setting up the way they did in that Champions League final. Like we explained this, we went over this. But similar to what I said last game about England, when Argentina's doing it, this is the reigning champions, right? This
Hmm.
is, the GOAT in your side, Messi, right? There are quality footballers in that team, Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, as much as we, the scum we call them, these guys, Enzo Fernandez, he's a good footballer. I don't like the guy on a personal level, good footballer. Um, McAllister, Premier League winner. Like they have good players in that team. There's no reason for you guys to set up the way you did yesterday. I don't even know what that was. Like, what was the tactics behind that? What were you trying to do? You possibly, you can't possibly think that it's a successful tactic, especially later on in that game, went to, set up defensively and have Messi be your only guy up top. Like, what is Messi even going to do when you if you're looking for an outlet, right? Once you clear that ball, is Messi going to hold the ball up for you and draw two guys center backs on his back, and hold the ball up? Like that's not his game. Like what was the tactic? I don't understand. Messi as an outlet, you leave him the only guy up top. Maybe you had to do that when you were down a man, but still, like leaving Messi as the focal point up top. I mean, with Messi on the pitch, he already doesn't like everybody else does the running for him. So essentially, once you went down to 10 men, you basically went down to 9 men because Messi's not doing any running. So the tactics were just it was all over the place. It was shambles from the manager. Um, it's just, it required an explanation because yes, and same thing with Arsenal and Arteta. I said this for Arsenal, so I will say the same thing for Argentina. Arteta doesn't owe anybody to make it a spectacle and to make it, an enjoyable watch. Sure, you got to win the best way you know possible. But Argentina, if I'm looking at manager, Scaloni, or whatever his name is, what was your game plan? How did you expect to win that game? Like it just didn't, from us as viewers watching it, football fans, non-football fans, we're all looking at it like, what was that? You need to explain what your tactics were. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just for a team of that caliber, right? A nation of that caliber, a reigning world champions,
Hmm.
didn't have a shot, right? Didn't have a shot on target. Every statistic that was popping up every couple of minutes on the screen when whether it was attempts on goal, whether it was possession, it was embarrassing, bro.
Zero. Yeah.
It was embarrassing. We're watching the reigning champs, right? And as Laurent said, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world who don't really watch our game, you're gonna add fuel to their fire, right? Like it's not what we want to see, in a World Cup final, So it was a poor display from a footballing side of things. It was a poor display, not what you want to see in a World Cup final from our sport. But as the famous expression goes, football won. It feels like I can finally say this now, I see a lot of people use that quote after the Champions League final, funny enough. So I'm gonna use it now too and say football won, right? I think it's fair to say. A lot of people said Spain was boring throughout the tournament. A lot of people didn't like, not as exciting as France, let's say. Maybe not even as exciting as England. Well, maybe just as exciting as England because Tuchel showed us what he was about in the semifinals too. But
Oh gosh.
so maybe not the
Yeah.
most exciting, but Spain, what they showed is that they're a complete side. They definitely keep the ball well, and they, when you have Rodri, right? I have a lot of things to say about Rodri as well. Rodri, again, on a personal level, we have that rivalry with him from Arsenal City. He said some things about Arsenal in the past, so from that side of things, up yours, Rodri. But from the football side of things, he's quality, man. You can't deny that. Now for club and country, the stats when Rodri plays in whatever team it is, whether it's Spain or City, the stats when he plays versus when he doesn't, is crazy. A player like that, he makes a massive difference to your team. You always have a better chance of winning when that guy's on the pitch. I do believe that he got player of the tournament in the end. But yeah, for those who again study the game and watch the game, you understand what Rodri is as a footballer. His ability, like I said, to run the game from midfield, the dictator, the anchor. He just brings in an air of calm, to your team. And yeah, on the ball is just class. Everything runs through him, as I said, and it's just yeah, you see what he does and you understand why. You always have a better chance of winning if he's in your side. So he showed his quality throughout. Fair play to him. Again, on a personal level, I'm not a big fan of the guy, but a footballer, he is quality, definitely. And I think that player of the tournament is deserved. So him along with the others, like I said, the very well-rounded squad, very well-rounded team. France has the individuals, but Spain has showed that they're a proper team because they didn't even rely on the likes of their star boy, right? Yamal to win the tournament. They didn't rely on a Pedri, who everybody says is one of the best upcoming midfielders in the world. Pedri's coming off the bench for them, right? They have guys that, like Emerick Laporte at the back, who's not even playing in the Premier League anymore. A lot of people think that he's past his best. He's playing in Saudi at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. But he comes into the
Mhm.
Spain side and he's, playing in a back line that's only conceded one goal all tournament. So fair play to him. The boy next to him, the young boy, Cabarcia or whatever his name is, who plays for
Yeah.
Barcelona. Good young player, So yeah, all over the pitch, they're pretty solid team. They have midfield depth as Spain always does, and they keep the ball well. They keep possession and they play good football, and that's what you like to see. And so I think they were rightful winners of the tournament in the end. But from an Argentina point of view, man, yeah, successful hate watch. The lack of class that they show and have shown throughout the tournament. Fortunate enough to even get to the final, but
Yeah.
we're
Oh
just
my
happy
God.
that they didn't. And just quickly for me on the Messi thing, yeah, like as we said, and I think again, very uncharacteristic of him. Of all the players, I said this even to you, Laurent, I think last podcast, but like, of all the players of how they act in that Argentinian team, whether it was Emmy, Enzo. Messi's the one that you don't really associate that kind of, foolishness with. But again, yesterday he showed maybe it's a moment of weakness, right? He is human at the end of the day, maybe like everybody else is. He's showing that he's human and he had that moment where, as I said to you in the group chat, I think he was just desperate to level the playing field and he's desperate to win another World Cup and maybe at that point it's like, got to do everything I can to try and again get back into this. And in that moment, he showed his human side and his level of emotion came out, and he was desperate to get Buddy sent off so that they have a chance to get back in the game because I think he knew they were on the ropes at that point. So you don't like to see that, especially from somebody that's of that stature, because these are role models, young kids looking at a player like him and saying, oh, well, okay, I'm going to try and imitate all the things that he's doing. No, we don't want to see that in our game. So a bit classless in that moment, but yeah. Anyways, he still bows out as the GOAT for me, and it is what it is. But rightful winners in the end were Spain, so congrats to them.
Mm. Goat
Say-
cheese. There is
Saying
such thing. There is such thing as goat cheese, by the way.
I like goat
saying
cheese.
saying Ronaldo had a party.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was talking about this with my guys too, saying, yeah, you think Ronaldo watched the final? Well, Laurent, me
Oh,
and you have
one
talked about it too, right?
hundred
Yeah, yeah,
percent. He
yeah.
watched it.
I think he watched it though in like his private bathroom, where the family is like probably elsewhere on the in the house, and he just locks himself in, and now he's just tuning in, right? Because he doesn't want to show that, yeah, man, I pay attention, and yeah, but he slept a happy man. That we can all guarantee. Because boy, could you imagine had Messi won two World Cups,
Mm.
what the headlines would be? Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah.
Ronaldo's coming out of retirement to play another World Cup.
Listen, I hope he does the next one in his
No, no,
backyard.
No, you don't.
no,
I genuinely do, man.
no. You don't.
Even if
Listen, if he comes back, I hope that the new manager makes him sign something saying you are coming off the bench, and that is if we need you.
mm,
Like for the aura or whatever, sure, come to
mm,
the tournament, but you are not starting
mm.
under any circumstance. He hurt their team. Straight up, he hurt their team.
Yeah, that's true. I feel
Like,
like Lautaro Martinez was in the same predicament as Ramos on Portugal, right? Because Martinez didn't play.
no.
Mm.
Yeah, but
And
when he got his opportunity, he balled out, right? Like that's what you need for like that's what
who,
Ronaldo needs to
Martinez
understand.
or
Yeah, Martinez. Yeah, he scored the key goals, right?
right,
That's
right.
what Ronaldo needs to understand as well. Like if you're coming on at the 70th minute or 67th minute or like, and the defenders are tired and fatigued,
Hmm.
you can actually run at them for 20, 30 minutes and be a difference maker. But you do
Hmm.
not have the legs for 90 minutes, right? Like you
Hmm.
don't. You can still be a difference maker, but not like before. So no, if he plays the next World Cup, like he's just got to come off the bench.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, um, couple more weekends for the Community Shield. Arsenal, Man City, August 16th. I know CJ and I are hoping for a couple incomings. Um, listen, man, Andrea Berta did his thing last summer, and I'm fully trusting the process with what he has in store for us this year. I don't want to overreact with the Morgan Rogers, but I do think in a span of 2 weeks we will have Guimaraes done, and we will have a
Wow.
center back in. A forward player, I do not see us having a forward player until closer to September. To be honest with you, like end of August, unfortunately. But I do think Guimaraes and a defender will be done prior to the official season starting. Not the Community Shield, but the official season starting. So there's my optimism for you, CJ.
You always need it.
Yeah.
You always
And
need that in
hey,
one of
we
you.
gotta we gotta bring back the predictions, the preseason prediction. So everyone, you two both got to do your homework. I'm looking at you, Mr. Piana. You you went 0-4 with your predictions last year. So maybe this year, you know, maybe you can get one thing right. Like let's go for one, right? Small incremental improvements, right? Um, and then we've teased it. We are going to be introducing an FPL. So in our episode description, we are going to have our code to join our FPL league. We are going to have that out likely beginning of August, so you guys can join, draft your team, and play against us. And there will be a prize for first place. There will be a prize for first place. Um, and you'll get to interact with us. And who knows? If you finish first, you might get a jersey, like how CJ got a jersey. If it is Laurent that finishes in first, which would be highly unlikely, and I will put the percentage as 0.000% that he will finish in first, he may officially get his first Garnacho Chelsea kit, which he's been dying for years. Or Liam Delap. We haven't decided on which one we would get him. Um, but hey, listen, keep it tuned here. Because you know why? Lauren, tell us why. Tell us why the viewers and listeners need to keep it tuned here.
Oh, is it because it's the home of the Premier League champions?
Thank you, sir. I'm proud
Bow,
of you.
bow.
Wow.
Side by side with a guy coming from my home, which is world
Ninth
champions.
place. Oh, sorry.
I just had to add that in. But it's crazy though, because I feel
Sorry,
like,
you cut out for a second. I didn't hear that last part. What did you say? I heard ninth place, but I didn't hear the rest.
oh right now, just like probably a cutoff for Morgan Rogers when he was listening to our intros and our outros, right? He didn't catch that. That this is
What?
indeed the home
What?
of so and so
Morgan
champion.
who?
Yeah, the salt
Are you
is
sure?
real,
Are
eh?
you sure you're not confusing the M's? Not
Ah,
not Mikhailo?
okay. Salty as ever. No, salty.
Salty.
Yeah, man, you're hella salty, bro. But it's all good.
That's why I'm drinking water, trying to prevent the water retention.
Yeah, man. Don't worry, man. You'll get yours. Just tell your boy Berto and Co to move a little faster, right? Don't need to be cute. Just get it done. And that way, when we deal with you guys make sure you have a full roster, and we have a full roster, and there'll be no excuses. Y'all can tell we're back. Slowly and surely, this is how it's going to be. Yes, this time I will have my revenge. Bet on that.
Viewers and listeners, I did say ninth. I meant 10th. Sorry. So if you have to scroll down and accept the cookies to see the second half of the page to find Chelsea Football Club's ranking, then
Hmm.
we got you. But will the 10th place team overcome the Premier League champions in just the third game of the season? You don't have to wait too long to find out. Any other closing remarks, gents?
Nope.
Keep it tuned here at the home of your Premier League champs.
And on that bombshell, one time for the Spanish, adios.